What are we on?
FKC Fantasy Hour. We're back. It is championship weekend in your fantasy football leagues. 2/3 of us are in the studio tonight. I am Mike Bernier. I am joined by the co-champion of the what did he name the league this year?
Well, hold on. Not co-champion. We're co-money.
Sorry.
We're in the money together. We're in the money together. We still have a
commingling of financial decisions.
Yes.
In the Venmo only league, Craig Horn.
That would be me.
So
also going to the finals in our Vampire League as well.
Yes, he eliminated me in that one because, well, fucking Josh Jacobs, Jamar Chase, somebody else all fucking decided to get hurt the week before, leaving me with Marquez Valdez-Scantling as my only real option to play. That really sucked.
Yeah, Kamara shit the bed for me in 3 leagues, but
honestly, this is the first week in the Vampire League that I actually really kind of got bitten by the injury bug. I had ran fairly well. That a lot of my guys, like when Chase was dinged up, I had 3 or 4 guys that were scoring religiously that I could have put in that spot. This week, though, unfortunately, it shook out the way that it did with all week. Everyone was like, okay, Josh Jacobs is going to play. Josh Jacobs is going to play. And then right before kickoff, they declared him inactive. I like to thank the Las Vegas Raiders for that decision. I'll say that right here on the show. Because without that situation occurring, my teammate in the Dynasty League, which I was able to squeak by Ryan, we'll talk about that here in a few minutes with the Brock Purdy gate. My teammate made a text message decision. He said, you want to go with Zamir White over Odell Beckham Jr. in our flex spot, which I said, yeah, fire it off, whatever he felt comfortable with. And he went with Zamir White, who went off for 17 points. And I needed all 17 of them as I was able to squeak by Ryan. Valiant effort. But when Brock Purdy throws that many interceptions, I needed all of the Zamir White points that I could get. I understand he gets credit for 4 interceptions, but I really only feel like 2 of those were really his fault. I don't know what the fuck was going on last night. It was, that whole game was really weird. I'm also going to be that guy. Everyone today on major outlets, Lamar Jackson had an MVP breakthrough game. Guys, he took advantage of a short field like 3 times. Let's calm the fuck down. I get it. Vegas is putting him out as the favorite. You want to know why? Because there was a lot of money bet on Lamar Jackson after last night's game. It's easy to be the favorite. There are not people that are betting on Brock Purdy today. There are not people that are betting on, some of those other guys. I think if there's someone who made a case for themselves to be the MVP last night, it happened in that game, but it was not Lamar Jackson. It was Christian McCaffrey. Quarterback struggling, found a way to keep him in a ball game for a while until the turnovers became too much. He ran the ball effectively. He caught the ball out of the backfield effectively. This is one of those where I'm not that big guy that, I've come to the conclusion in my heart of hearts that the most valuable player award in the National Football League should just be renamed the NFL Quarterback of the Year award, because the likelihood of them ever giving it to a running back or a wide receiver is somewhere between the exact opposite of what I am, which is slim, because I am not slim. So at the end of the day,
neither am I.
No. And here's the thing. Go ahead.
Just looking at Lamar's stats right now. 3,357 passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a 66 completion rate.
Mm-hmm.
He's thrown 19 touchdowns and 7 picks. So It's almost a 3-to-1. He's got a QBR of 63. Listen, I will say this, and I realized it when I watched their first game, the whole game when they played Seattle. They are without a doubt the best team in football, but it's all because of their defense. They went into Santa Clara last night and beat the shit out of what was the best team in the NFC. And if Purdy is hurt and Trent Williams are hurt, they're fucked. But that defense is intense. They're ball hawks. They're fast. They're really, really fast. And what do you need in the playoffs? Great defense and a run game. Lamar's having a great season for how great their team is doing. He's not an MVP candidate by no shot of the imagination. It's all their defense. You take away their defense, and a guy who's thrown 19 touchdowns in 16 games is not leading you to the playoffs. They have an inconsistent run game. They haven't had anybody healthy all season. They lost Mark Andrews. Lively has stepped up, but Zay Flowers has been banged up.
They've lost every running back that they've had on their roster.
Odell's been hurt, but their defense has been the constant on that team.
Yeah,
it would be like when Seattle won. Oh, it was all Russell Wilson. Absolutely not. All the defense.
And when you look at this Baltimore team, and we faced them twice. There's nothing that this offense does that's earth-shattering to me. They're effective. They don't. I mean, they're still vulnerable for mistakes. Listening to tonight's Huddle Up Proper over on the feed, if you haven't already listened to this week's episode, for some reason, people thought that this game was a coming out party for Lamar Jackson. He proved that he was not a run first quarterback. I'm sorry. I feel that in the first half of that game, the exact opposite transpired. He was able to keep drives alive for them because of his running ability. His running ability got him in trouble early in the first half whenever he took the safety. Because what was the reason to take a 67-yard drop? Try to run away from Chase Young, to trip over an official on a play that if you just literally, when you're at the 7, just run this way and throw the ball out of play, you don't take the safety. But instead, Lamar tries to make a play happen because he's the greatest quarterback in the NFL this year, according to major media outlets.
That's what they want. It's what the NFL wants.
You want to tell me that Lamar Jackson has been the most athletic quarterback this year? Fine, we can have that conversation. I will give you that. He has kept drives alive with his legs. He has kept drives alive by rolling out of the pocket and moving with the flow and trying to keep plays alive long enough for guys to get open down the field. Fine. But let's stop this narrative that he's this great thrower. I mean, in a game where they handed them the football countless times inside their own red zone, he was 23 of 35 for 252 and 2 touchdowns. He ran 7 times for 45 yards. He was the leading rusher on the team.
Thank you.
They had to settle. They had to settle for 3 Justin Tucker field goals because of plays that. I'm sorry. He had an opportunity at the second half to put his foot on the throat and kill the San Francisco 49ers before the half, and they pissed that drive away and had to settle for a field goal to go up by 4. I'll be the first one to sit here and tell you right now, Brock Purdy, 18 of 32, 255, and 4 picks. If he throws 2 picks instead of 4, this game's a lot closer than 33-19.
Oh, sure.
He handed them 2 drives.
I'm looking at Lamar's rushing stats for the season. So he's got 786 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you want to have the conversation, because
how many
of
games?
what the,
How many games do you think he has with more than 50 rushing yards? Out of
15 total
16.
games.
16.
Is it 15? I thought it was
15. There's 2 left. 15.
15 total games. Over 50 yards? I'm going to say 13.
7. 54, 101, 62, 60, sick day.
Sick day.
54, sick day. 70
Sick day.
and 97. He's had 45, 39, 41, 17, 36, 45, 27, 38. So he's had a 101 and a 97. He's had 2 games with about 200 yards rushing. He's only had 7 over 50 yards. So, yes, they are trying to contain him more into the pocket. But if their defense hasn't been doing what they've done, you're not discussing this guy with the MVP. You're simply just not. He's not saving you games. Okay? All right, they won in overtime on a pick 6. They were way ahead last night because of 4 interceptions. They beat Seattle 37-3. They beat Detroit 38-6. They beat Cleveland 28-3. Houston 25-9. And then you got your 20-point games that you've given up here and there, but for the most part, they went into Jacksonville and gave up 7. Went into San Fran and gave up 19. I mean, I don't know if Moody kicked any field goals. Really didn't watch much of that game.
Yeah, he did.
I don't. Did he? So I really don't count. I really don't count field goals as, oh, look at the defense gave up. Yeah, you gave up points, but you didn't give up a touchdown.
I think he actually kicked a bunch. I think he kicked a bunch of field goals.
So let's see. Well, they only scored what, 2 touchdowns?
He kicked 1.
Okay.
When they went up 5-0, when Arson Judge hit that 3-run home run to put the Giants ahead 5-0.
But this is a defense that's going to probably have home field throughout because they have the Dolphins at home this weekend. So they win that game. They have home field throughout, and they don't give up shit on the road anyway. So,
no, honestly, I listening and commenting on the feed over on Huddle Up, when talking about the seeding in the NFL playoffs, I came out and said it was real simple. The only other team there's 2 other teams that I have having a legitimate shot beating the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC. One of them
is in
the
their
Cleveland
division.
Browns. Defense is playing like a house on fire. The receivers are playing their ass off. 38-year-old Joe Flacco is playing pickup football in the backyard. The run game has been
throwing for
good.
350 plus.
And their run game has been good when they've needed it. Oh look, it's just Flacco throwing the ball. No, Jerome Ford has had a couple of good runs in that situation. No, it's not Nick Chubb. No, it's not Kareem Hunt. No, it's not, the guys that you would have thought. But they're doing their job. The defense is getting after it. They're getting after it early and often. And here's the thing, boys and girls. For those of you watching at home, I don't want to play against Myles Garrett. Pass. I don't want it. And the fact of the matter is there's a realistic chance that actually happens. And the other team is probably a team who has been written off and left for dead. The Buffalo Bills.
Nobody circles the wagons like Jay Grow and Chris Berman. Nobody.
So when you look, and here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be the first one to say it. I said it at the midseason award that my MVP of the National Football League was actually Trent Williams, the best offensive lineman in football, because they didn't have him for 3 games in that first half of the season. They lost all 3 of them. He got hurt in the game last night. They lost that game. And then made the formal selection of Christian McCaffrey. If there's a guy who I think in the second half of the year has played himself into the conversation of being in the running for the end of the year MVP, who struggled at points this year, it is Josh Allen. I get it. It wasn't pretty against the Chargers, but he accounted for 3 total touchdowns.
Yeah, no.
I get it. He had a real clunker week 1 against the Jets, losing in overtime. He lost a game in London to the Jaguars that he shouldn't have. Lost a game that he shouldn't have against New England. Lost a game to Cincinnati. Lost a game to Denver. Lost a game in overtime to Philadelphia. But if you take all of their losses combined, 6 points, 5 points, 4 points, that's 15. Lost to Cincinnati by 6, that's 21. He lost to Denver by 2, that's 23, and lost to the fucking Eagles by 3 in overtime. He has lost 6 games, 5 games, by a combined score of 24-ish points. And what do you do? Him and that offense smoked the Dallas Cowboys 2 weeks ago. They went into Arrowhead and beat the fucking Chiefs before the Raiders did it, before it was the cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, when you look at it from the standpoint, if Josh Allen is not a member of the Buffalo Bills, they're a 3-win team at best. If it strike the reverse here, Joe Burrow doesn't get hurt, Josh Allen does. The Bills' season is over. Yeah, he had a clunker against the New York Giants the week after traveling from London and playing a game against Jacksonville a week before. 3,778 yards, 27 passing touchdowns. That's 6th in the NFL. That's tied for 3rd in the NFL. A QBR of 71.6, which ranks 2nd in the National Football League. Oh, and on top of it, his total lines for the year, 27 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. And then when you add the rushing statistics to it, where he is sitting at a beastly 85 carries for another 413 yards and 13 total scores. You're telling me that this guy has amounted for 40 touchdowns this year. And we don't even have him listed in the top 5.
Yeah, but
because
I'm looking over. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, just because of the Bills' defense has given up on drives in the last 2 minutes of football games.
Mm-hmm.
It's a team game. It's a team game.
Yeah.
Without fucking Josh Allen, they're.
So since we are a fantasy show, I decided to look up Lamar's fantasy stats.
Ooh, I like this.
Okay. Now, I myself would love a guy who can put up over 30 points a week at the quarterback position. You want your 300, and you want 2 to 3 tutties. Okay.
Correct.
Everybody who loves to tug on this man's nuts. Mike, in 15 games, how many times did he score more than 30 this season? In Billy's league, this is according to Billy's Venmo league, where it's not a quarterback friendly. You get your standard bonuses: 40-yard touchdown, 40-yard passes, 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards. There's no points for completion or anything like that. It's 1 point,
I'm gonna
1
go,
point,
I'm gonna
4
go
points
3.
for every
I'm gonna
100.
go 3. I'm gonna go 3.
3 games over. Okay. Now, he has 5 rushing touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
How many games does he have 5 rushing touchdowns in?
Well, he's played 15 games.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably has like 1 game where he had 2 and 3 singles.
2-2-1. He hasn't rushed. He hasn't had a rushing touchdown since week 7. Okay, and how many games with 1 or less passing touchdown?
6.
9. But ESPN is going to swallow every inch of this man because he's the MVP of the league. He's having a great season, but you're only that great because of your defense. And numbers don't lie, but they'll hype him up. It's just fucking funny. Like they want. It's got to be this guy. It's got to be that guy. Oh, and by the way, I agree.
He's lost 6 fumbles, by the way, this year.
Good job, buddy. I agree with you completely with Buffalo and Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
But in the NFC, I don't think anybody's going to want to play the Rams, especially if they beat the 49ers in week 17, 18, whatever is the last week. Because that team is pretty damn good. Defense, little, but that offense is insane.
I don't think they make it out the first round.
If anything, if we both make it, if them and Seattle make it, they're going to be ahead of us because they beat us twice. So right now they're sitting 6, we're sitting 7.
I don't think they go into Detroit and beat Detroit.
No.
Not with that running attack with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, both of whom toting the ball effectively. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, they're getting production out of guys like Josh Reynolds. That's a game where, yes, the Rams defense is going to be really good. And how do you stop a really good defense like Aaron Donald, like that pass rush? By getting the ball out of Jared Goff's hands quickly, which is something that the Lions already do a lot. It's a lot of quick motions. It's a lot of jab steps to St. Brown. It's a lot of quick stuff to Sam Laporta. It's Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield. It's David Montgomery. If the Rams had a way to not have to face Detroit in the first round, I would agree with everything that you're saying.
Yeah, well, it's three wild cards make. So Dallas already, either Dallas or Philly will guarantee to be the 5. And correct. Like I said, if it's the Rams in Seattle, it will be the Rams at 6.
Correct. So that's why I'm saying
unless they flip flop and Seattle's correct. The 6 and they're the 7. So
and if that's the case,
as long as they don't end up tied.
Correct. So what I'm saying, if you're the Rams, you almost want to be the 7 because you'd rather have a date with that bad Philadelphia secondary.
Or it could be, depending upon how the status of Purdy and Trent Williams. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're going to San Francisco.
I'm sorry. Sam Darnold beats the Washington Commanders on Sunday. I mean, I don't care if it's Jacoby Brissett. I don't care if it's Sam Howell. I don't care who the hell is playing quarterback for the Commandos. Sam Darnold finds a way to win a football game if Brock Purdy doesn't play. If you were telling me that game was against anybody that had a fighting chance for a playoff spot, we could have the conversation of I don't trust Sam Darnold. But the Washington Commanders are just trying to.
They might be. They'll probably try to keep Purdy out this week and have him for that last week against the Rams.
I mean, that or you just hope that you can beat Washington with Sam Darnold, lock up the 1, and then you don't even really have to play Purdy until a month from now.
True.
You don't have to play Trent Williams till a month from now. I mean, that's that. In all honesty, if there's a game, if you're the 49ers that you have to go out there and you have to win, I think it's this one against the Commanders. So I think at this point, and here's the thing, this may be a 45 carry for 165 and 3 touchdowns for Christian McCaffrey this week, because they may literally run the ball every fucking play. Just to try to lock the 1 seed up. And to be brutally honest with you, I don't blame the Niners if that's the offensive game plan. Because at this point, it should have been the game plan most of the night last night. And the fact that they were throwing the ball as much as they were against a defense as good as the Baltimore Ravens was goddamn surprising. I get it. You got to throw it to keep them out of the box. Good Lord. I don't know what Kyle Shanahan's offensive play call was. I don't know if his run sheet got stolen and replaced with a Waffle House menu from Andy Reid. I don't know, but there were times he looked lost coaching a football game. And I'll say this is the first time that Kyle Shanahan at points in his coaching career looked lost. I don't know if it was the schemes that Mike McDonald was drawing up with that defense. Again, Mike
From the
McDonald is their
Doobie
defensive
Brothers?
coordinator. Yes.
Oh. I was thinking Mike McDaniel, the head coach. You said Mike
No,
McDonald, and I thought of the
McDonald.
Doobie Brothers.
Old McDonald's defense had a farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing here, coming out of this game, I think we've proven that this Baltimore Ravens team is the Joe Flacco-led Baltimore Ravens team with a quarterback who's more athletic.
Well, imagine if they had Flacco right now.
Hmm?
Imagine if they had Flacco right now.
Oh my God, 17-0. With that
Jesus
that
Christ.
defense, it would legitimately be Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, we're gonna put up 450 yards on offense, but we're only gonna give up like 180. So
Yeah,
good luck. We got you like 3.5 to 1. Let us know when you catch up.
Yeah, that's the Trent Dilfer. That's the Trent Dilfer fucking Ravens. They won a Super Bowl like 38-3.
Trent Dilfer had one job: don't turn the ball over, and that was it. Give it to who was their running back?
Jamal Lewis. Jamal Lewis.
Just give it to Jamal, and Ray will kill people on defense, and we'll be fine.
Literally murder.
Well, he was in the limo or something.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
So the big thing here, especially fantasy wise, as we go into the final week of the season, and this is going to be the revolving wheel, and I think it's fitting that we go to this part of the show. It's the injuries. It's something that all of us around the fantasy football spectrum have taken hits on this year. To be brutally honest with you, again, the Venmo League, your brother's league, I lost Justin Herbert and have now found the second coming of Jesus in Joe Flacco at quarterback. Mm-hmm. I lost Joe Burrow in the Dynasty League. Somehow got to a finals with Brock Purdy throwing 4 interceptions in the semifinals. Sorry, Ryan. Don't know how I did that. I have Christian Kirk, my number one wide receiver, or one of my top 2 wide receivers in Bailey's league on IR. I've lost a lot of guys in a lot of leagues this year. And to put myself in a spot, it's one of those things where it's funny that we get to this point in the season and we're talking about guys who have now had major injuries that could affect your finals. DJ Hawkinson tore his ACL and MCL. Jalen Waddle basically kind of has been announced as not playing this week and maybe not next week either. Trying to rest him up for the playoffs with an injury. Yeah. Trent Williams, who we mentioned, Brock Purdy, who we mentioned. This is really weird where you got a lot of guys on Championship Sunday who have been your guys all year that you may have to go find a piece to really get yourself into a spot here. Obviously the tight end position has kind of felt like a revolving door if you didn't have a top 4 tight end most of the year. I played Russian roulette in your brother's league. I dropped Logan Thomas and picked up the kid in Cincinnati who scored me a total of 1.5 points because they were out of that game and really weren't using him and trying to move the ball vertically, which doesn't work with Jake Browning at quarterback. Shocker, I know. So the tight end position has always felt like kind of like a real vacuum. But a lot of guys had Jalen Waddle as their either number 1 or number 2 wide receiver. Now, if you're in a predicament where you've made Championship Sunday and you're without your second best wide receiver going into the season, now statistically he has not lived up to the potential of a top 17 draft pick that he was this year. It's been a down year because of how good Tyreek Hill has been. But still, we talked about it on last week's show. Don't try to get too fancy. Go with what's brought you to the dance. And Waddle's probably someone that you've had in your lineup most of the year. And now you're going to the dance and you ain't got one of your best clips in the chamber. And honestly, most leagues, including ours, are pretty ravished in the department of bodies that are available.
Yeah, but like you might find a guy like the I'm not sure who the new tight end will be for Minnesota, but that's somebody that will definitely be available in probably most leagues. I'm sure you could find a guy like Berrios or one of the other receivers on Miami should be out there, and with it being championship week, you're only going up against
the backup tight end for the Minnesota Vikings is Josh Oliver.
Okay.
He went to school at San Jose State.
Okay, out in Cali. So I mean, for situations like that, you should be able to, and even and another thing right now for the championship week, one little strategy is play defense. If you don't need them, pick them up anyway. Don't let somebody pick them up and use them against you. If you're still holding on to two defenses or a couple of quarterbacks that you just let somebody go, pick somebody up that you don't want anybody to use against you.
Absolutely. Looking at the tight ends that are available in your brother's league, the names that pop out here, Okanowu, the dude from Tennessee.
Conquay.
Yeah, that guy. Tyler Conklin, Max Bayer, Gerald Everett, Logan Thomas, who I've cut and added 3 times, Kate Otten, technically Greg Dolch, but I don't think he'll be activated. Tyler Higbee, he had a fairly decent game the last 2 games where he scored 8 points in both. Dawson Knox,
Gerald Everett back. Gerald Everett going up against the worst defense against tight ends, which is the Denver Broncos.
I mean, even Okonwu versus Houston.
Yeah, and he caught a touchdown last week from Derrick Henry.
Let's go. And in
6 for 63 and a tutty.
And in the first matchup against Houston, he had 3 catches for 36 yards. So, I mean, again, it's not great, but tight ends really haven't been great all year. It's kind of been a meh position.
Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Make another flex position.
More on that later, because since Ryan's not here, next week we'll have to talk about the new league starting because we can't do it without him.
Well, I mean, suggestions going forward, like we were throwing things around, like.
So spoiler alert: in the Dynasty League, I am getting rid of the tight end. Not Blake's league, the full-fledged Dynasty that I'm starting. Okay. I'm getting rid of the tight end position, adding a flex. And I'm getting rid of kickers, but your defense will be awarded kicker points.
Oh.
So if you have a team, Justin Tucker, Baltimore's defense now looks a whole hell of a lot better because you got that guy booming it from fucking 50.
Sure.
So defenses are going to put up points in my league.
Well, you already have fat budget. I think Billy's and Manning's are the only 2 leagues that don't have fat budget.
Mine will have fat budget, and I'm contemplating an auction draft style for the first draft. Because some teams are going to want to spend money a different way. So those are all things that are on the table. Obviously, we'll have a conversation about that. Sure. Whether we do that in a long form in an episode after the season's over, we can do that. We'll figure that out. Another thing here, defense, as Craig said, play defense against your opponents, but also play good defenses in your title games. Mm-hmm. Play your matchups. Right now, looking on your brother's league, the LA Rams are available against Tyrod Taylor or Tommy Mozzarella or fucking me playing quarterback. It don't matter. That's a good matchup. The Chicago Bears and the Atlanta Falcons.
You have the 9, I have the 10.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm going to play probably New Orleans defense. Divisional matchup against Tampa Bay. I doubt I pick up a defense. And if I do, you know what? It might be the Rams to play defense against you. I'm not sure yet. I have to look and see what I want to do. Baltimore's defense is lingering around there without against Miami with a banged up Tyreek Hill and a banged up fucking Jalen Waddle. I get it. The projections aren't going to look pretty because of who they're playing, but when those teams are missing pieces,
Yeah.
it's a little different. So, right now, if the Rams are available, if Chicago and Atlanta, I think that's going to be a low scoring game against each other. Either one of those defenses, Baltimore because of the injuries. Honestly, the Chargers are a sneaky team defensively. Sure, you look at that game 2 weeks ago where they gave up 63 points to the Raiders, and you're like, Mike, you're out of your fucking mind. They held Josh Allen to 24 points and had a shot to win that game. And we've talked about how Josh Allen is a borderline MVP candidate. New England's defense has played well, but Buffalo's firing on all cylinders. So, like I said, there's some defenses that you can go out there and get. Nothing really earth-shattering, though, when it comes to the defensive side of the football. I'll be brutally honest with you. I've loved the fact that in the Dynasty League, I haven't had to touch my defense over the last, 4 or 5 weeks because it's just been Cleveland. And I've just left Cleveland alone. And in your brother's league.
Really quick, I know we're a sports whatever. I just went on ESPN. Breaking news: the Detroit Pistons have now lost 27 in a row.
I saw that. I saw that earlier.
How do you lose 27 in a row?
How do you not care enough as a GM or a coach to find the solution to stop losing after 27?
I don't know. I remember back in the day, and I've always told Billy to do this, like whenever his teams were in slumps. And I think I might have mentioned this to you. Back in the day, the Yankees, back in the 70s, Billy Martin was the manager.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a horrible slump. Billy Martin took names, put them in a hat, had guys pick it out. That was your lineup. Go play baseball. And then they turned it around. I think they might have won the series that season. I'm not sure. But do something like that. You can't keep running out the same 5 guys every night. Mix it up. No. Change it up. Who cares? I'm pretty sure at this point, none of those guys on that team care because they're all getting paid.
Correct. So we sit here and we've reached, like we said, we've reached championship weekend. I would be remiss if we didn't talk about next year. Looking at the class that's potential to come out. We talked about this a little bit last week. Talk about it a little bit more this week. The updated mock drafts. It's still Caleb Williams 1 to the Bears. I trade that pick. I trade it for anything I can get for it.
Here's my whole thing with mock drafts. There's going to be like 9 fucking million of them. From here until then, Mel Kiper is going to have 37.65 and 17.38 and captain's log and what the fuck have you. Look, these guys, you're not going to get tape on a lot of these guys because they don't play the bowl games anymore.
No.
Okay, fine. You don't want to get hurt. I don't know. Maybe it's just I just think this kid's rubbed me the wrong way, and maybe it's because I'm older now. But like the whole thing about when he was like 3-0 and throwing the ball all over the place, word comes out that whatever team drafts him, you have to give this kid ownership. Go fuck yourself. And then what happened? They lost like 4 out of 5. This kid was a Heisman winner in week 1. He wasn't on the podium the night they gave out the Heisman Award. How the hell is this kid still a number 1 draft pick? And no, if you're the Chicago Bears, you do the right thing. You either, 1, trade the pick and get the world for it, or you say fuck it because you still got another pick later or a few picks later, take Marvin Harrison Jr., put him on one side. You got DJ Moore on the other, Cole Kmet. Fix your run game, and maybe you get a good offensive lineman at the 5 or the 6, while other teams are scrambling to get quarterbacks. I know it's not. I know it's not conventional.
Defense.
It's not conventional to take a wide receiver with the number 1 pick, but this could be the thing that could save that team. I don't think trading away Justin Fields and bringing in a new quarterback to learn this whole offense. We talked about this a few weeks ago. He's had a good season with DJ Moore. He needs more help.
Mm-hmm.
Where does he need more help? On the other side of the field, lined up as a wide receiver 2. That's what he needs.
He needs someone not named Darnell Mooney.
Yes.
I mean, let's be real here.
Yes, of course, because now the thing is, if you add Harrison on the other side of the field, you got to drop somebody else back into coverage now. Oh, he can run. And you use that scrambling for the next couple of years until you have to make him a pocket passer because he's going to get fucking killed by somebody if he thinks he's going to be able to run the ball out of the pocket when he's 30 years old, like the way he does when he's 25, 26.
Currently at 6-9, winners of 3 of their last 4, including a win against division champion Detroit. Justin Fields, in those 5 games, he is 3-2. And he's done a little bit of everything. He's done it with his arm. He's done it with his legs. And with the exception of this week against Arizona, where Cole Kmet was the leading receiver, in the other 4 games, the number 1 wide receiver in yardage was DJ Moore. Yes, when Justin Fields got hurt, they lost to Minnesota. They beat the Vikings, or excuse me, they beat the Raiders with Bagnett. Then lost 2 out of 3, including losses to the Chargers and the Saints, and then beating Carolina. And then Fields comes back. They lose a 5-point game to the Lions. That had no right to be that close. And then beat Minnesota in a real shit game, 12-10, before the bye week. And then reeling off 2 out of 3s. They play Atlanta, and then they play at Green Bay. There is a realistic chance that this team finishes the year game under 500.
Yeah, currently, according to the standings on ESPN, they're looking like they're the 10th pick, give or take, until it's over with, conference records and all of that stuff. So you're out of the top 10. You got 0 shot at getting Harrison at the 10. Unless, let's see.
Personally, unless you... Oh. The only way you get is you got to take him at 1, because Arizona's not taking a quarterback. If you want Marvin Harrison, you have to take him at 1.
Yeah, because New England needs a quarterback, depending upon the new coaching regime in Washington. They've benched Howell the last 2 weeks. Doesn't seem like if Bieniemy's taking that team over, it doesn't seem like Bieniemy wants him. Bieniemy's going to want his own guy.
And it seems like there's a realistic chance that Jacoby Brissett's the starting quarterback this week.
Probably. Let's see. Tennessee doesn't. The Clippers don't. The Giants can't take a quarterback. The Jets, if the Jets want to move up. But, then it's like we talked about this, who out there has multiple picks to give up?
I think the other thing here is what team is in dire straits to have a quarterback? I truly believe it's Washington and it's New England. They're the only teams that are dying for a quarterback. You could say Minnesota, because Kirk Cousins is probably moving on, whether they're moving on from him or vice versa. But you're not trading that pick in the division.
No, and also like Washington, New England's going to have a new coaching regime coming in.
Correct.
So where are they going to want to go? Are they going to pay? Do we turn this 1 pick into multiple picks? They're not one quarterback away. You're not. You need a whole lot of pieces. I totally see them trading their pick, but unfortunately, Bill Belichick is going to do his absolute best to win the next 2 games.
Mhm.
And they're sitting at the 3?
Yes, they are
They're sitting
currently
at the
3.
3.
No, they're currently 2. Arizona's 3.
Arizona's got
It's
3 wins. New England has 4.
oh, maybe that wasn't updated.
Reverse that. I mean, you could trade the 3, but
so Carolina has
who's
the 1.
moving up? Yes, that's the Bears.
That's the Bears. Right now, Arizona has the 2.
Mm-hmm.
New England or Washington at 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
And then wherever from there. Honestly, if there's a team that's going to move up that has proven that they're willing to move pieces to do what they have to do, it's the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, but we like you said,
you have to move pieces with it,
and it's not going to be Crosby, but
no, probably
Jamal,
not. But
not Jamal, Devontae's,
his contract's too large.
It's too much. I think they're gonna. I hope Antonio Pierce won himself a coaching job yesterday.
I mean, what's Josh Jacobs' contract like?
He was a franchise.
Okay, so it's not him either.
Nope.
Yeah, so you're either mortgaging the farm, or you're going with Aiden O'Connell, Jake Browning, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins.
No. I think Kirk Cousins is probably going to be the most sought after free agent quarterback this offseason. And I know free agency opens up March 15th, 16th. The draft isn't until April. So that'll be figured out.
According to Sports Track, 25 quarterbacks will be free agents at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill, Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor, Marcus Mariota, Sam Darnold, Jameis Winston, Drew Lock, Baker Mayfield, Gardner Minshew, Teddy Bridgewater, Tyler Huntley, Josh Dobbs, Easton Stick, Nate Sudfeld, Blaine Gabbert, Josh Johnson, Kyle Allen, Brandon Allen, Mason Rudolph, Logan Woodside, Felipe Franks, Jake Browning, Nathan Rourke, and Garrett Gilbert.
Yeah, there's 2 guys in there that are starting quarterbacks next season. I think if Tannehill gets signed by somebody, it's going to be with somebody with a young quarterback in a situation like he was just in Tennessee. I don't see anybody going out there and getting a game manager. We need this guy to take us to the promised land. The only team like you could see him step in for would be somebody like San Francisco if Purdy got hurt, or Baltimore where, Lamar gets hurt. A team with that kind of a defense that you're like, Trent Dilfer, don't turn it over.
Mm-hmm.
But the only 2 quarterbacks I see that are going to be going after, and I don't think one of them leaves Tampa, because I think Baker earned himself a contract with this team, so he's not going anywhere. So it's Kirk Cousins. I mean, everybody else. I mean, backup, maybe Drew Lock,
Gardner Minshew,
sure. But I mean, other than that, none of these guys are getting top money for.
No, and I don't think any of them should.
And now let me ask you this. Let's see. Let me look at the standings again.
Mm-hmm.
Very curious. Let's look. Okay, right now they're sitting at 8-7 in first place. Who do they have left? Tampa's on the road against the Bucks, and then no, they're home against the Saints, and then they're away against Tampa. You win the division.
They are Tampa.
Yes, you win the division. You're most likely the 4, no matter what. So
yeah, you're not getting higher than the 4.
You're the 4 in the AFC, no NFC, no matter what. So 4 plays
They're playing.
5
They're playing Dallas or Philadelphia
at home. You give him Philly, he'll torch them for over 400 yards.
I mean, I think if you give them Dallas, Dallas has proven they can't really win on the road.
They're another team that they get in. I mean, they'll have that one home playoff game that'll just give them enough.
The real issue that you then run into is if things go the way that they should, round 2 is on the road in Santa Clara.
Sure. But he wins you a playoff game. What are you giving Baker? You know what the bar is set at. Daniel Jones got 40. He makes no less than $40 million. Daniel Jones won a playoff game. Give him that. Baker Mayfield makes no less than 40 to 45 million.
I mean, I would probably put Baker at the same contract as Daniel Jones. Maybe less years, but the same AAV.
But I think he's way more serviceable than Daniel Jones.
I agree, but if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you're not mortgaging your franchise. Because you only have X amount of years left of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Well, Mike Evans wants to get his lifetime. They're gonna have to get rid of Godwin. One of them is going to have to go.
So one of them is going. So you're already losing a piece.
I think it would be Godwin. I think Godwin would be the one they let go. Godwin's been more banged up this year. Ankle injuries, I believe. Lower foot injury. Yeah. So he gets 40 to 45. Cousins is going to get well over 50.
You think so, coming off the Achilles?
Sure.
Mike Evans is a unrestricted free agent at the end of the year.
And he's what, 31?
He'll be 31 during next season.
So you got 3 great seasons left in him. He's going to want a 5-year deal probably. And what's his name is how old?
Hold on. Sports Track is wrong. No, it's not. I don't know.
No, I got the roster right here. Baker's 28. Godwin's 27.
Yeah. And I'm looking at.
I think they'd want to keep Mike Evans only because he's still serviceable. He can still play. He's still playing at the top level.
So here are the players that are available at the end of this season as unrestricted free agents. Okay, Mike Evans, Odell Beckham Jr. are the first 2 names off the list. Okay, then you have Calvin Ridley, T. Higgins, Michael Pittman Jr. Let's see who else. KJ Osborne, Darnell Mooney, Gabe Davis. Those are probably the top 6 or 7 names that are available. Obviously, I think Kansas City is going to be in the market for a wide receiver. I think New England's going to be in the market for a wide receiver or 2.
I think New England's just going to, new regime, new coach. I think they're
and if they get their quarterback,
sell the draft pick, yeah.
If they get their quarterback, I think. No, it's not T. Higgins. It's not Michael Pittman Jr. It's not Mike Evans, but it's a Gabe Davis and someone else. It's pieces. It's multiple pieces for the price of one. Whereas if you're Kansas City, we're a wide receiver away from getting back to the Super Bowl. Okay, who's the best available wide receiver?
I think he's going to try to do anything and everything possible to go get Justin Jefferson. He can move
You think
money.
Kansas City's going to do that?
I think if they get embarrassed, if
I think Jefferson's in play for another team.
the only reason why I say Kansas City is because of Mahomes' contract. He can give them as much as they want of that $45 million to sign somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So you at this point of your career, he's been in the league now what? 8 years? No.
I don't know off the top of my head. I'm looking it up right now.
I want to say at least 8 years he's been in the league.
I can't fucking. Why the fuck is it not? Oh, they're there. He has been in the National Foosball League for 6 years.
6. Okay. So you've been in the league now 6 years. Came out in year 21, 22, 28.
10 years, 450 obviously was his.
Yes. But they can go to him every single year and get money, and I think it's deferred somehow. And I know Kelsey's what, 32, 33?
Something along there. But I'm looking at cap space that's available currently. Obviously, this is through 2023. Their available cap space right now is $3.2 million.
So what I was going to say, what I was going to say real quick about them was, and I if they don't win, and Kelsey's numbers have been dog shit. So I think after yesterday, I think they're now 3-5. Since he's been dating her, and he has 1 touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
If stuff like that is a distraction, and it messes up the team, and you have an aging tight end, time to go, bud. It worked. We got 2, but he needs a 26, 27-year-old beast of a wide receiver to play catch with.
The problem is they have $30 million in cap space free.
Yes, but you can take
and 34 players under contract.
What is Mr. Pfizer making?
But you're not trading Travis Kelce. You're basically telling him fuck your existence and wanting to play here your entire career, so that our quarterback can.
Who's going to be there longer? That because that's what you have to look at when
it's all said and done. I think you have an opportunity to play the same amount of years.
Kelce and Mahomes
total. If you compare from the start of Travis Kelce's career,
no. I'm saying going forward, because Kelce's what, 32? Maybe 30. I don't think he's 33.
Travis Kelce is 34 and 90 days.
Come on. You almost have to. I get it. I get how great he is. He's one of the best tight ends of all time. Got to move on. He needs younger weapons.
He's costing you $14 million.
Okay. But he needs younger weapons. He's got Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is great. He could be better, but I
don't think he needs that much younger receivers. He needs guys that can catch the fucking football. Kadarius Toney couldn't catch a cold in fucking New York, and we signed him.
Terrible.
We drafted Sky Moore because we fell in love with how fast he can run. What has that done?
Nothing.
Okay, so it's not T. Higgins. It's two guys that both catch the football.
Maybe they try to go after Mike Evans.
Maybe, but if they're trying to get younger, they're not going to do it by signing Mike Evans.
But that's what But you know what I'm saying. An
No,
alternative if you can't get.
But a Darnell Mooney and a piece. If Darnell Mooney's a free agent, Calvin Ridley. I mean, it's there are young there.
Ooh, imagine that
That's
in
what I'm
Dynasty.
saying. Yeah, there are younger pieces.
I don't think he's staying. I don't think he's staying in Jacksonville.
I don't either. And when you look right now, next year, 2024, the top 5 teams with the most available cap space. Number 5, the Houston Texans. Number 4, the Indianapolis Colts. Number 3, the New England Patriots. Number 2, the Tennessee Titans. And number 1, the Washington Commanders. Honestly, another name that just popped in my head, if he doesn't get franchised by the Colts, Michael Pittman Jr. in Kansas City.
These are guys catching 8 to 10 passes a game from dog shit.
Yes.
Because I don't know what happened in Jacksonville this year.
You want my honest? He hasn't been right all year. He's been hurt. He's trying to play through a high ankle sprain right now. You're telling me there are guys that can't play for 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain, and you're like, you know what, bud?
You're going out there every week, and you're going out there every week killing yourself.
Stop. This is the same problem Joe Burrow had at the start of the year, trying to play through the calf injury. He lived in this fantasy world that he had to go out there and be Superman.
You know, it's funny. Like now that we've gone through the whole season, you start thinking, like you just said, the whole thing with Burrow. In the beginning of the season, they were talking about IRing him. And everybody else, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. Now, he got season-ending injury on something else.
Correct.
But you never know. If his calf is completely healed by taking the IR, he plays his regular style. Maybe he doesn't get hurt.
No, I think that injury, the wrist injury in itself, is a fluke. I think it's not something that you think happens because of another injury.
Well, no, what I'm saying is if he's complete, because he wasn't healed, so he has to play a different style this year because of the calf injury. But if he's 100%, he doesn't play that style. Maybe he doesn't get hurt. I don't know. I like to think these things, bro. I hit this shit all day long.
Yes.
In my mind, Craig. Stimulate your mind, Craig.
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm saying I'm more out on it being a reason. Now, Trevor Lawrence with a high ankle sprain, which is causing him not to be able to run, to then separating the AC joint, being tackled because he could not run away from a defender. Those two correlate.
Mm-hmm.
That's more in the picture of, okay, what the fuck are we doing?
True.
At least to me, because Burrow with the calf, no, he wasn't right. And it started to look right towards the end of his season. And then the wrist injury occurred. That's why I don't know that they correlate to me, because that last week before the wrist injury, he actually looked the best that he looked all season with his movement in the pocket, things like that. So, looking at the pieces that have hit the injury bug this year, and the quarterback position is a major one that's seen a lot of big name quarterbacks end up on injury reserve. Yeah. Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers.
The massage guy.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett has ended up on injury reserve. Or not injury, just
hurt.
Short-term IR.
Geno Smith was hurt. Purdy's Purdy's been hurt.
Ryan Tannehill lost his starting job because of an injury.
Stafford has been hurt.
CJ Stroud with the concussion. You know, I think it's a war of attrition right
Jimmy
now.
Garoppolo.
Yep.
Garoppolo started the season. He got hurt.
Yep.
Jesus, who else? Tua stayed healthy all year, which is.
I mean,
really
I think honestly the fascinating thing is look at the quarterbacks who haven't gotten hurt: Lamar Jackson, Tua Tagovailoa,
Dak. Even
Baker
Jalen Hurts has been banged up.
Yep.
Baker's been healthy all year.
Yep.
Jordan
Derek
Love.
Carr's been playing. Derek Carr's been playing through injuries. Bryce Young, even though they've sucked in Carolina, he's made all the starts. Over in the AFC, it's Trevor Lawrence playing hurt, not good.
Josh Allen played all season.
Josh Allen.
I mean, you've had every quarterback that's played for New England played this year.
Yeah,
whether it be injuries or just regular bench.
Russell Wilson.
He's played all year.
Hasn't gotten hurt.
Mahomes was banged up, but he didn't miss any games.
See, this is what I'm saying. It's like, look at the teams right now that are in the playoffs. Brock Purdy was healthy up until this week. Philadelphia Hurts, but I'm saying Philadelphia Hurts has been mostly healthy. Got dinged up a little bit, but didn't really miss a ton of time. Jared Goff
healthy.
Jared Goff has stayed healthy. Baker Mayfield has stayed healthy. Dak Prescott has stayed healthy. Matthew Stafford missed 2 games. Outside of that, has looked good. You guys, Gino got dinged up. It was Drew Lock. Just outside the playoffs, when you look at the teams that are still on the outside looking in, Jordan Love has played all year. Desmond Ritter / Taylor Heineke, neither one of them have been hurt. Ritter's just been benched 3 times.
Justin Fields is,
Justin Fields missed 4 games. We talked about him.
Everybody else is eliminated. Giants, Washington, Arizona, Carolina.
So then you look at the AFC. Lamar Jackson hasn't missed time. Tua Tagovailoa has not missed time. Patrick Mahomes dinged up a little bit, but hasn't missed any games.
Yeah, but now Jacksonville's they might be backdooring, and they could very well not be playing for the division in 2 weeks.
Correct.
You've got Cleveland, but Cleveland righted the ship.
Correct.
Cleveland righted the ship better than anybody, and they went after somebody that nobody even thought of.
Correct.
And he's just throwing for 3.
He had to put off his pickleball tournament with Franny to go throw 350 in tutties.
But I'd say this: if Houston if they can get Stroud back.
I will say this:
Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Vegas, yeah.
But I'm saying right now, the Sunday night football game next week for the division should be, or for the playoff spot, Houston versus Indianapolis.
There's 2 games. Hold on. There's 2 different games, week 18. All right, let's go. It's not Seattle. It's not the Steelers, Ravens. It's not Bucs, Panthers. It's not Browns, Bengals. It's not the Vikings and Lions. It won't be the Bears, Packers. It's either Colts, Texans, Bills, Dolphins.
If that's for the division, yes. If that is not for the division, you should close with a playoff game.
Falcons, Saints could be for a division, but it also where's Tampa? They're playing the Panthers. They won't put that on.
Yeah, I don't think that's for a division.
There's no AFC East game possible to be put on television. Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, NFC. Jaguars, Titans,
just like me and you have talked on this show or just in general.
It's 3 games that could be played Sunday night.
Correct, but we've said if the playoffs started today, and that 3-6 matchup in the NFC was Lions Rams, that should be the Monday night wild card game.
Absolutely,
it won't be because
you're gonna have to have the Cowboys.
Correct, which is the dumbest fucking thing in the world. More on that next week. Legitimately, if you're telling me it's Jared Goff against his ex-team and Matt Stafford against his ex-team in a battle for whose season's going to be over, sign me up for that game
Okay,
every day of the week, twice on Sunday.
but don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind seeing Dallas going to Tampa.
I wouldn't hate it. But I feel the storyline is more driven
Absolutely.
to be.
And the thing is, you build it up for the whole weekend. Don't make that a Saturday game.
No,
Either make it the late game on Sunday or
the
make it the
Sunday
Monday
night,
night game.
the Sunday night or the Monday game.
Well, let's see in the AFC. As of right now, you're not making your
Brown.
Sunday night
You're not making it Browns Jaguars. That's
Kansas City Buffalo.
if
But
that
Buffalo
stays
might
the
be playing
same.
for the
Yes,
division.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If that game stays the same, but if that game doesn't stay the same, then you still do Miami versus Kansas City because it's Tyreek against Patrick
Yes, in
in
Kansas City.
Arrowhead. Correct. Absolutely. But that's the fun thing is we have one more week of fantasy football to sit here and think about. We have a couple more weeks left of the National Football League. Then it's playoff time for them. We will be back.
And then I don't need this on Sundays for 2 hours before kickoff.
We can just actually enjoy football for a little while.
Yeah, no, that's sleep. That's sleep till 11:30, 12 o'clock. Roll out of bed, make pancakes. Oh, there's football on.
Exactly. We will do a show next week. It'll be the last show of FKC Fantasy Hour for at least the next couple weeks because we don't have playoff fantasy to really discuss. Maybe we'll pop in and do a quick. Yeah, maybe we'll pop in at the Super Bowl and do a quick daily fantasy if you want to do a Super Bowl kind of thing for fun. But we'll be back next week. We'll wrap up the 2023 season. We will talk Dynasty League because that is a thing that's going to happen next year.
Yeah, and with Ryan, maybe just we our thoughts. Like I mentioned something to him today, and just something to think about. When are backup quarterbacks going to be taken in next year's draft with all these injuries?
We had a conversation about that.
It's
I took because we talked about it after you guys got off the phone. I took Kirk Cousins in the Dynasty, or excuse me, in the Billies League in like the 12th round. Traded him to Rems.
Yeah,
and then the next week he blew his Achilles out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it worked out really good for me because I got a good piece for that. But that's what I'm saying. I think when you think about it, I do think teams are going to start addressing the second quarterback a lot sooner.
I would probably guess, depending upon how your league is set up. Now, most of our leagues are 2-2 and a flex.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, no, most of our leagues now are double flex.
Correct.
So in a double flex, I want 2 running backs, my quarterback, and at least three of my both my receivers, and I guess at least 1 flex before I might be like, I need good insurance in case my quarterback goes down.
So you're looking rounds 8 and 9.
Depending upon who's still
depending on what's out there.
Yes. Now, if there is if you're looking round 8, and this is the only name that just came to my mind. If you're like, oh, Calvin Ridley in the 8th round, I'm not going to be there ever. But I'm just saying, if there's somebody like that who, there's always those guys who towards the end of this season, you're going to pay attention to going into, next season.
Correct.
Now, if there's an 18-point wide receiver, give or take 18, I'm taking that every week before I'm looking for my insurance. I will say this: I would definitely take a backup quarterback before I take a tight end because I never take one of the top 3 tight ends. And basically, after them, they're all flex plays. So yes, maybe 8, 9. I'd probably be thinking backup quarterback. Who knows if a lot of other people are going to have the same mentality, but if my starting lineup is set, whatever on a kicker, whatever on defense, I'd rather have my backup tight end, my backup quarterback, you know, instead of getting, I don't
A tight
know,
end that I don't care about.
Gardner. No, instead of getting Gardner Minshew as my backup quarterback
Mm.
in like the 15th round.
Yeah, I would rather
You know,
draft
I'd rather
Matt
draft a
Stafford.
rookie wide. I'd rather draft a Wookie. Oh, Wookie. A rookie tight end. I'd rather grab my rookie running back, rookie receiver.
Correct.
There.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Because
how
at
many
that
guys?
point,
How many guys are you dropping that you've taken 10th, 11th, 12th round? You know,
a lot
give
of
them
them.
3, 4 weeks, guys. Done nothing. Done nothing.
Correct.
You know.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's where we'll wrap up Fantasy Football Championship Sunday. We wish you the best of luck. Me and Craig
Yes.
will dance for a championship. I'm hoping
Yes,
that
we
I
will.
can. I'm hoping that I can walk out with a championship, with a trophy that stands by about yay, and I can put another plaque that says
Oh,
Mikey
for the
Manny on
Dynasty
it.
League?
Because the goal is to fill that fucker up as quickly as I can, like it's the fucking Stanley Cup in the fucking early '60s. The more I get my name on that trophy, the better for me. And then obviously we dance in the Venmo League.
Yep.
Good luck in the Vampire League. Hopefully I can
Thank
take
you.
third place in that.
Thank you.
Because we're
No
still
chop in
alive
the
there.
Vampire League. We're playing for 6 and 4.
Nah, me and Ryan talked about that earlier. No chance. I wouldn't have chopped it either.
But he talked to me today. Me and damn allergies. Me and Ryan are playing in the third place game in our remedial league. We both ran into buzzsaws in the semis.
Yeah.
I got crushed. He got crushed. So we're playing in third place. So good luck, Ryan. We'll be talking shit this week. And 2 championships I'm playing for, and 1 third place. I was in, what did I start? 6 leagues this year. Those 3, yours.
Yep.
The guillotine. What was the other league I was in? Wait a minute. Oh, the Dynasty League. I'm nothing good. I donated.
That one.
Yeah, I donated another 500 to you, buddy.
Dynasty, Billy's, Vampire, my league. That's 4 leagues I'm playing in 2 title games and have a third place opportunity.
Are you playing Teddy for third? Are you playing Teddy for third in your league?
No, I didn't make the playoffs in my league.
Who's in the
It's
Billy said
Thompson
he's in the finals.
versus Thompson. He plays Thompson.
Oh, okay. And who's Teddy playing?
I'm gonna go look right now. Jake.
Oh, okay. What's third place in yours?
200.
Yeah. I didn't get it, and I said it, a few weeks ago when we went over Brandon's house.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, what are the payouts? Oh, third gets 600. What? Buddy, we paid $300 to play in this league. Yeah, 50, 30, 20. What do you give third place $600? If anything,
if you finish third place in my league, you made $50.
That's what I'm saying. Give him 100 on top. Now I'm playing for this, and me and Ryan are chopping it anyway. I believe in karma. We've done this before in the past. If I was playing Teddy and all the shit talking, 0 chance. 0 chance I'm chopping it. So, but yeah, it should always be top heavy. These guys at work. Oh yeah, I'm in a $300 league, but we pay out points. We pay out this every week. Why? Oh
yeah,
well,
the only
points. Do
the
that
only
if you're
thing
playing for
is
$1,000.
I mean, I might consider. I might consider that in the
listen.
Dynasty League.
I don't mind doing stuff like that. But if you're playing for 200 or 300, you're
Mhm,
not playing for much in the finals because if what are you going to do? You're going to take out $25 a week. There's 14 regular season weeks,
mhm.
so that's what 300? No, 350. 350 out of your $3,000 prize pool. That's your third place. So now first and second place have to give money to third place so third place can make money and then some. So what do you give third
See,
place? 400?
see,
Hold
this
on.
is
So let's say
okay.
you got 350, right? And you have four. So that's 750 out of, so that leaves 2,300 between between first and second. All right, I guess you look at it that way. It's not so bad.
Uh, So I'm actually in the new Dynasty League. If we stay with 8 teams
Mm-hmm.
and we do 200 a team, it's 1,600. I only want to play. I only want to pay first and second.
Four make the playoffs.
4 make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You're only playing first and second.
Increase if you gradually increase the buy-ins, you pay third.
Correct. As you gradually increase the buy-ins.
But I'm sure if you're doing 8 teams, you could probably get people to pay more money because they know how much better their teams are going to be.
It depends. That's why we're going to leave it up to debate because I'm going to open it to all 10 teams that are in the league and see if anybody wants in or out. Because if all 10 of us want to do it, then it's going to be hard to be like, okay, well, you two have to pair up and you two have to pair up. So we'll cross the bridge.
Well, here's the thing. Me, you, Ryan,
Mhm.
Billy.
Mhm.
Billy said he's in. I don't know about Thompson. I don't think Bavosa,
Brandon will probably play.
and he'll split it.
That's what I'm saying. So that's 5.
But I don't think Bavosa wants to do much more next year. I don't know if
Probably.
Nate's going to want to do it next year. So those could be 2 right there that are just gone.
And then Thompson's a question mark.
I would just send it out, thinking of doing a dynasty, not sure how many teams, who would, who's interested.
I'll throw a text out this weekend after or during because I want this season to end first and then
Sure.
cross the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. All right. That's this week's show,
Cool.
guys. We'll be back next week. We'll talk finals and the final week of the season.
Oh, look, he's
We'll do
got
some
balloons in the
predictions.
house.
Balloons.
I have nothing. Yay, thumbs up.
Yay.
Woo-hoo.
All right. Good luck, everybody, this week, and we'll see you guys next week.
Good luck,
again
guys.
on the FKC Fantasy Hour.